Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Camera Tuesday, we're going to talk about Sigma FP. So let's dive right into it. Well, first we have to understand what the heck we are talking about. We are talking about a full frame L-mount camera. Why L-mount is important? Basically, a camera is just a 50% of a unit. That unit, other 50% means lenses. Basically, if you do not have lenses that supports your camera, you're stuck before you even get out of the gate. So there was a alliance created between three companies, Panasonic, Sigma and Leica. All three will start to make one mount for all three of them. Benefit of that, right now there is a lot of lenses for Leica. There is some lenses for Panasonic, there are some lenses for Sigma. Benefit of this is like if you combine all of them, make them all intercompatible, same way Micro Four Third was, but in Micro Four Third there were only two companies, Olympus and Panasonic, and Olympus is out. So L-mount alliances was created to smooth out the process. So basically, if somebody buys a camera, they should have the ability to get natively supported lenses. So at this point in time, if you buy this camera, you will have this many lenses directly supported natively. You don't have to worry about it too much. So that's why it's a unique combination. Now, selling point, why the heck anybody would want to buy something like this rather than Sony, Nikon or Canon? It is a raw camera. That alone flat out kicks out most of the Sony, Nikon and Canon. It's 12-bit. Here's the deal. There are very few cinema cameras that can do that, and I mean like C200 kind of cameras. Sony cameras, they do not even exceed 10-bit most of the time. So 12-bit raw 4K 30 frames per second can be done in this tiny camera. This is ludicrously small. Now this image may not justify it, but that's it. Like it does not even have the enough space for having two lens mounters. So it's like tiny. It's ludicrously tiny. A7 Mark III looks bigger compared to this. So it's tiny camera. Now, what are the pros of this unique approach? Well, the price is very low, and the price is not low because it has poor quality parts. It basically has less part. What does that mean? Let's say think of this: somebody gave you A7 Mark III, remove the screen tilts. Okay, that saves a lot of money. Somebody removes the, let's say, dual card slot, remove one, again saves money. Remove the electronic viewfinder, saves money. So that's how making this small allowed them to also make it cheaper without reducing quality. It's not like, oh, I'm trying to give you everything, but I'm giving you cheaper quality of that. It's like, no, I'm gonna give you a few things, high quality, few things cost less. So it's under 2K. So flat out, it's directly competing with A7 Mark III. Now 12-bit 4K 30 frames per second raw at full frame. That's unheard of. That's like tangibly cinema quality camera. That's tangibly, like, yeah, at this point in time, if you take footage out of this camera and you're saying, dude, it's not good enough, like bit tips, like either some fault was done like while recording. Again, if you mess up the setting, you're gonna get garbage in, garbage out kind of principle. But let's say in that side, if there is no issue there, you are at fault at this point in time. This camera will no longer be the bottleneck, because you have to understand there is a very giant gap between 8-bit and 10-bit. Most monitors, most display you see is around 8-bit, but we are slowly going into 10-bit, because 10-bit is the foundation of HDR, high dynamic range, and jump from 8-bit to basically 10-bit translates from going to 255, basically 200 levels. Just go with that, 200 levels of colors, basically gradation in each channel, RGB. Each channel will have 200 gradations to full basically going to 10-bit, which has 1000 gradation. So tangible difference happens there. Now same difference will happen from 10-bit to 12-bit, but be mindful, human eye will start to basically reach a point where it cannot truly observe this. Like, yeah, it's there, but you will have hard time observing it. So once you cross 10-bit, you are in a comfortable territory. At that point, it's like, yeah, I can work with this. At 12, you are like, bro, I got this. So what about 16 and all that? Yeah, it's good to have, but at that point, you are like just showing off. So now again, if you want to have IMAX and you want to render out Thanos in full detail, I can understand that, but most people don't go that far. So it has this ability. Now, side effect of that, raw at 12-bit would be ludicrously heavy in file sizes, and there is no SD card system that can handle that. So what this company do, there is only two options for them: either to use basically some weird proprietary format or utilize a C-Fast Express system, basically the XQD looking kind of card. Problem of that is both of them would be expensive. So these people tried something very unique. They started to use USB-C SSD. Basically, if you plug a USB-C, done. So basically right now there is a lot of SSD in the market, like Samsung portable SSD T5 and T7. Now these are fast. These are reliable and these are so powerful. Flat out, you can record your file into this and directly edit off of it. It's inherently designed. It's a PC part, so basically it's designed for much higher throughput and load and all that jazz. So it can do your work without any issue. And not to mention, T7 version also has a fingerprint security system built into it. So again, if you need it, you have that ability. So this allows you to have per gigabyte. Basically, you are recording raw, so you're gonna go through gigabytes like there is no tomorrow. So per gigabyte cost is surprisingly low compared to every other format. Basically, full size SD cards, expensive. Full size UHS 2 cards, ludicrously expensive. CFast Express card, good luck with that. Express, I'm saying, Express card, they're idiotically expensive. This is relatively cheap. Yeah, the reason people call these puppies expensive because they're comparing to computer parts, but this is a portable part, so it's a bit more expensive. And inherently, because this was designed as a cinema camera first, it has a lot of mounting options. Because when you think about A7 Mark III, what mounting options do you have? You have one tripod hole in the bottom, and you have one hot shoe mount. Done, game over. You have to have a cage that, like, it's very difficult. This puppy was designed from day one as a cinema camera. So cinema cameras generally have a lot of stuff bolted onto it, be it rails, be it huge lens, be it even huge lens hood, be it even huge monitors and all that. So there is a lot of things added onto it, like basically time stamp generator is also, time code generators are also added onto this. External power bricks is also added to that. For those reasons, you need a lot of mounting points. This camera was built for that. It's like, I got this. You can mount anything you want on it. So these are the pro. Like, it is tangibly unbeatable for this price, for 4K 30 frame per second 12-bit RAW. Unheard of. And not to mention, given the fact that it does not use magically proprietary hoo-ha, you can get a surprisingly good final solution under $2,000. So what are the cons of this? Well, if you try to analyze the whole YouTube space, everybody who's reviewing this, you will find one core central theme there. It's a first gen product. Basically, the Sigma tried to do this and they're like, here's our product. What do you think about it? So it has a lot of, like, sharp edges, so to say. So it has lame autofocus. Now you might be like, hey, cinema does not need autofocus. That's true, but there's a very good chance if you are serious about cinema system, you will not buy this. You will buy something even more expensive, be it Alexa, be it Red camera, be it Sony Vegas or something like that. So there is a very good chance you will not touch it. So who will buy something at like 2K? YouTubers, Twitch streamers, vloggers, things of that nature. For those people, having good autofocus is kind of necessary. And not to mention, it does have autofocus, you just have a lame contrast based autofocus. So that's there. And another aspect, for many people in cinema industry, they do want a camera like this, tiny small camera. They will like give an arm and leg for that. Why? Many times they have to do what we call crash cams. Many times they have to put camera in such a weird small place that there is no other option to use. Sometimes GoPros have been used in full-fledged cinemas. They will kill for this. But here's the problem, because it's only reliant on USB-C output, it's inherently not suitable for that role also. Because if they had, instead of micro SD cards, SD card slot, UHS2 is not that fast. If they had basically XQD CFast Express variant, they would be sold. Because at that point, yeah, if you don't have money, utilize USB-C. If you have money, have a completely portable system, use it as an action cam. At that point, this would be unbeatable. Because there are many full frame high quality prime lenses that are surprisingly small, so they could have like complete package in this small area. Basically, you can have shoulder cam or even head cam and have a true cinema grade experience. So there was a lot of potential that was like kind of meshed, and the side effect of using the RAW system, they do not have a processor powerful enough to compress it, so it has uncompressed RAW. If you worked with any kind of RAW, you know for a fact that the RAWs are generally compressed. Even if in a Red Epic camera and something like that, they will have 1 to 4, 1 to 16, 1 to 32. People compress it that much, then they start to even dare to edit it. This puppy has so that's like, bro, come on, like, you have to make it useful. Otherwise you have to buy hundreds of SSD in order to record few minutes of the footage. And the design language and all that, it's like given how small it is, I do not complain about it. However, they really should have added XQD. That would have made it a complete action cinema cam. And even for drones, flying drones, you would be much more comfortable putting this on a drone compared to RE systems. So there are certain cons of it, and I'm reasonably sure Sigma can polish it out in Mark II and all that. Now, this camera itself is not that great. However, what it unlocks in our future, that's the interesting part. That's why I wanted to make this video. Basically, there is a new world of video cameras opening up, because if you're old enough, basically around 30 years old at this point in time, you must have remembered there used to be something known as handy cams. Basically, video camera was completely different, and then you had photo cameras, still cameras. But in our early 2010s, the quality of still cameras basically improved so much that they can do video, like proper high quality videos. And some point they started to cross that full HD mark. At that point, European Union was like, bro, this is not cool. We will charge basically 30-minute recording limit. If you have more than that, you have to pay video camera taxes. There was like a completely different tax bracket. So that's why most camera had 30-minute recording limit. So there's completely different basically marketplace. So you had video camera and you had cinema camera, even though technically it was not needed anymore. We had the technology. So this sort of camera, they are breaking down that barrier where like, no, this is a video camera, it just looks like a stills camera. So you have small, compact and powerful, because technically you're small, your mobile phone, compact, can't compete against basically your mobile phone, but powerful, because most mobile phone cannot even exceed 8-bit. Very few can go to 10-bit, and forget about raw. So at that point in time, and not to mention you are limited by lens and the depth of field of that tiny sensor, it's truly not comparable to a cinema camera. But these puppies can directly compete against cinema camera. Like you can literally double blind test these things, and many times people will have hard time telling you, hey dude, this is a very expensive camera, this is a very cheap camera. So that's a true cinema camera for starters is now a reality. Be it Blackmagic. Now you have to understand this. Blackmagic, when you are saying Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K, you may think like, dude, this is a very polished camera. But again, this is 4th or 5th iteration of Blackmagic's approach, and you have Zcam from other manufacturers also. So there is a lot of new market, basically a whole new segment of a cinema camera is being created that is affordable to almost every Tom, Dick and Harry. Because again, how could you make a cinema camera, let's say for Sony? Just remove the electronic viewfinder. If you're not going to have a flip out screen, remove the flip out screen, just have a dedicated screen. Like remove things, make it as efficient as possible, and then you can have lower price while having high quality. So there is a whole new market segment opened up because of mirrorless world. So it's a very bright future that we are looking for. I'm reasonably sure by, let's say, 2025 we'll have a true cinema grade camera which will like a size of a GoPro, again not counting the lens. So this was my presentation on Sigma FP. I hope you liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.